Hey guys, welcome or welcome back. Tisha here, back for another Sister Wives Season 12 review. Originally, when I did the previous review, I had said that on Max, it jumped from episode 1 to episode 4, so I didn't know what I was going to do in terms of this next episode. But if you can see by the title, Groomzilla, I was able to find it on Philo. It's good that I have Philo because this episode gave me a little bit more insight into Tony, and watching this, I just keep getting more and more understanding of why I despise him. McKelty allows Tony's voice to be louder than hers, and that continues to be a problem for me. I don't know if it's because she originally told us that she didn't want to do a large wedding, or if it's just because she doesn't care, but her seeming like her voice isn't heard, in my opinion, isn't right. She likes to think that she has somewhat of a say, but this episode to me shows otherwise. It also shows me the way that Tony reacts when he doesn't get his way, which is a lot like Cody, and I can see why he gets on my nerves. The episode begins with some of the family preparing to go wedding dress shopping with McKelty. So there's the moms, one of McKelty's friends from school, Aspen, Mindy, and Tony. That's right, folks. You heard it here first. Tony is going wedding dress shopping. He is going because he needs to make sure that he likes the dress. I do not care if he likes the dress or not. He shouldn't have been there. But he's going because he wants to make sure that he likes what she picks out. Even though every time that we've seen Tony on our screens, his outfit looks like something that I would be pulling out of, I don't know, my pajama drawer if I had one, maybe what I wear when I need to load the lawn, maybe what I would wear to go to the gym. Even though I'm getting tongue-tied and stuff like that, you understand that I don't feel like he is the fashionista that he thinks that he is when it comes to dressing McKelty. Yet, knowing all this, he wants to advise McKelty on what she should wear. Please make it make sense. The moms don't like the idea, and I'm kind of with the moms on this because I don't like it either. Janelle and Christine are really vocal about not liking the idea. Janelle, who is normally not as expressive, she's more stoic and tends to not say things as much, can't even hide her frustration with it. And neither can Christine. Christine feels like it's the least romantic thing that she's ever heard of in her life, which speaks volumes because after all, she is married to the bald eagle, whose idea of romance is not mistakenly calling her Robin. The entire bridal shop, what? Oh, it says they enter. I'm like, what am I talking about the entire? This is why you should read your notes before you come on camera. But I don't do that because that's extra work and I'm lazy. Sorry, I'm lazy. Okay. They enter the bridal shop and McKelty announces that everyone can pick out a dress for her that they would like for her to try on. They waste no time to do this, especially not Tony, because Tony is the expert in this situation. He's looking through dresses and he's going and he's saying, no, 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 no. Let me do it with my teeth. No, 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 no. Y'all get it. It's a bunch of no's. And I'm just like, okay, you don't have to keep saying no. Obviously, if you're not pulling the dress, then that means that it's a no. Mind you, while he's saying all his no's, the actual bride hasn't even grabbed anything off of the rack herself, but the camera is showing us Tony, who's the groom, who really doesn't matter at this point of the process when it comes to the dress, and him going through things. So him being the expert that he is when it concerns Mykelti, he knows which dresses require push-up bras and which dresses have too much bling for Mykelti and which dresses do not contour Mykelti's body properly. The bridal boutique owner is shocked that Tony is there. She lets us know that in the 10 years that they've been open, they've probably had less than 10 grooms come in. She said sometimes it's a good thing and sometimes you just have too many opinions and it gets confusing. Before she even decides on the dresses, I feel like Mykelti should have made all of the rules to let them know, like, look, I want you all to allow me to come out, look at myself first before you say anything. But she did not do that. Maddie was much more organized, in my opinion, when it came to this. Mykelti's situation seemed a little bit more chaotic. So the wives and Tony all pick out dresses for Mykelti to try on, and everyone seems to be having fun despite the fact that Tony is there. He's cracking jokes, and even though it annoys me, they seem to be amused by it. He really is a lot like Cody, because even in this process, when she's trying on her dresses and coming out, I feel like he's very opinionated. Oh, that's too much bling. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, she likes that, but I don't like that. It's just a lot of him. Mykelti goes into the dressing room to try on the dresses. As soon as she comes out to show the group the dress, everyone starts giving their opinions. I mean, they are there to give their opinion. This is, of course, the reason why you bring people shopping with you when you go to pick out a dress. We are reminded that she wants to do this, what does she call it, vintage Mexican theme that they've come up with, and that she would like to wear her hair up in a vintage style, but Tony doesn't want it. Even though, to me, the dress that she picks, an updo would really have complemented it, but he doesn't like it. So Mykelti gets angry because they keep on giving their opinions about the dress before she can, because I guess they don't have a mirror in there for her to look at it, but as soon as she comes out, she's getting comments. She doesn't like the people doing it. I guess Tony's the only one that can do it because he was a part of it too. So she tricks them into thinking that she likes this horrible dress. She comes out and she's like, I love it. And they don't know how to take it. I just wanted her, instead of doing all that, playing tricks, just tell them to stop talking and wait for you. Satisfied that she's got her family to see her side of things, she takes off the dress that doesn't compliment her body, tries on another one. She doesn't like that dress either. She then tries on another one that we find out that the shop owner actually had picked out before Mykelti even arrived, and that is the dress that she loves. Everyone thinks it looks great. She says this is the dress. Christine ends up embracing her and she cries. But I have to be honest, in this situation, I did not get any feels for this dress fitting the way that I did when Maddie came out. And it's not because I like Maddie more. It's just because there were so many things going on, so much jokey, so much heavily opinionated Tony, that to me, it takes away from the moment. It's another day. Christine tells us that Mykelti has asked her to sing as a part of her wedding festivities. Now, this would make sense to me if Christine was an actual singer, like she sang with the church choir, she sang with a band, she sang in the family and groups or something like that. But given that she's not, I thought that maybe this was a joke, because based on what I heard in the voice lessons, Christine can't sing. We see her practice. I'm not a fan. She admits that she doesn't have a great voice, but she does think that she has a nice singing voice. I think she's a little wrong. Maybe certain songs. There are certain songs that I sound great singing and certain songs that are not meant for my voice. And I feel like we witnessed her practicing a song that is not meant for her voice. She goes through the warm-up, and in the warm-up, I said, oh, okay, Christine, she sounds good. She was hitting her notes appropriately. She was doing her breathing right. She sound good doing her scales. But then we hear her struggle through the song, Let Me Call You Sweetheart. It's something that her grandfather used to sing to her grandmother, and she basically wants to do this song because Mykelti asked her, and she feels badly about how she originally acted when they first talked about getting married to each other. And I just want Christine to let it go. Don't overcompensate by embarrassing yourself at the pleasure of Mykelti, because I wouldn't be surprised if Tony was the one who suggested it and Mykelti just says she did, just so they can have a good laugh at Christine. Because seeing Tony now in the way that he talks about Christine sometimes, I feel like Tony has some resentment built up, but I could be wrong. You all let me know down below. It's time to talk about this bed and breakfast. Mary wants to buy the bread and breakfast in Utah. She talks all the girls into going to Utah to see the bread and breakfast that she wants to buy. She does not want Cody to come because she's not ready for his party pooper-like spirit. She wants to have a good time, show off the property, gleam in it, and not have anyone try to talk her out of what she wants to do. She thinks that she's convinced the girls to help get her the money to buy this property, and as a result, she's going to work on Cody. I feel like if you really wanted to work on Cody, you needed Robin's help for that, but good luck. Mary wants her bed and breakfast, and it seems like she's willing to do anything to get it. So Mary invites her mother and her sisters along for the girls' night. I think the fact that Mary invited her mother and her sisters shows to me that I don't really know if Mary ever intended for this to be a family thing. I feel like she just wanted the family to support her in buying it and paying for it, and it was going to be her thing. And maybe she was planning on giving the family a percentage because she really made this about her family. And I get it. Her mother was raised in this house at various points in time, so it makes sense. But I just feel like don't put it under the guise as this is for our family when I feel like this is more about your family. But you all can correct me down below and let me know what you think. She waits until her mother and sisters are inside to let them know that she wants to purchase the home. And her mother, as well as Mary, gets emotional about this announcement. Some of you all may know this because, as I said, this is my first time watching this portion of Sister Wives. But, oh, I already said that. I don't feel like it's about the family. She says, having this home back in our family is something that I thought about for a good 20 years. I hope my sister wives see the potential in it. They get a tour, and we find out that there are 5 bedrooms in this house, but only 4 of them can be rented out in order to be considered a bread and breakfast. I mean, this isn't a hotel, so the sister wives feeling like it wasn't enough rooms. It's like, okay, she told you already it was a bread and breakfast. So why are y'all acting like she should have had 10 available rooms? What's the difference between 5 rooms and 4? The owner of the B&B tells Mary at some point that there's a ghost in the house. I personally feel like you need to keep that info to yourself. I mean, unless you were, trying to just let her know, or you thought it was just a fun fact, don't tell your sister wives this, but they didn't take it a bad way. Mary's mother thinks it's her great grandmother, I think her name was Sarah, that is haunting the place. They go outside, sit down and talk. No, this is before they sit down and talk. They're still walking. There's this structure that's also been built. Mary says that she wants to turn this into a tiny house out there by doing renovations. So it looks like it's a shed that's on the property, and she wants to make this kind of like a house/apartment for herself so that she has somewhere to live while she's there. Meaning, I'm only allowed to rent out X amount of rooms, but if I come, then that's even one less room that I'm available to have because I plan on having Annie or whomever in that other room to be the caretaker for the house. So I got to do something. I get it. I think now that's where she has her business. Because we saw her doing that in this last season, getting some renovation work done to that property. But it's just interesting to see where it was and how long it sat there really until it became what she envisioned it being. The other wives aren't feeling the idea of her doing this because they want Mary to stay in Vegas with the family. And you particularly hear both Christine and the Birds say this, and I don't understand why. At this point, Mary has nothing holding her back in Vegas. Mary has no kids and she has no marriage, and she seems to barely be around her sister wives or their children. So why do they want Mary to stay there? Mary says she needs their support both emotionally and financially to buy this house. She don't want the emotion. She just wants the finances. Janelle is getting excited because of how excited Mary is. You even hear Janelle at one point say that this looks like it could be so much fun. Now, Christine and Mary are shocked by this, but they laugh about it. She said her major concern, Janelle did, is how the community is going to respond knowing that they are polygamous, that, you know, Utah still isn't safe for them, that they fear that, you know, the business could be seized or something like that. And I feel like the Browns have always made it seem like they were under a certain type of scrutiny that we're now reading about that happened back in the book that I'm currently reading, or back in when Love Times 3 discussed it. But y'all never were really in as much danger as you try to make it seem. And you have a lot of people in that community that have at this point come out, because we even have seen them on your show, and they haven't done anything to their businesses. So what is it about you that makes you feel like they would take over a B&B? The wives point out that Mary is just not involved in their lives daily as they feel like she should be. Mary's used to not being involved in your life. They claim the kids, Christine mainly said that, you know, boys really don't notice what's going on, but even our boys are seeing that, you know, Mary is there and she's disconnected and she's on her phone and all that. I thought that was what was going on when the catfish was there. I thought she stopped doing that. Mary says they have kids at home. I don't. I'm in a different space in my life than they are. They are taking care of their kids daily, and I am not. And I'm not going to go into their home and take care of their kids for them. It's not what I do. I think that was more so geared towards Robin, because I don't see Christine or Janelle asking for Mary to do that, especially given the circumstances. Mary basically is like, look, bump them kids. I mean, Mary is really like, look, I don't have that type of connection with the little kids. They are like how I felt with the older kids. You all, one minute you want me to step in, the next you don't. In the book, we're told that Christine and Mary got into it at one point because Christine's children said that they felt like she was being too harsh with them. So y'all stop allowing Mary to discipline your kids. So which is it? What do you want from the girl? Because she's right. It does kind of sound like you want her to be a babysitter. She says she's going to be away. They want to keep her connected. They feel like this will be a retreat for her, and that it may cause her to be even further disconnected from the family. I don't understand how all these people that are surrounding her, and I'm going to say all because in this instance, it's all of the wives, because they keep on telling us they're privy to certain things. We know that Cody is a pillow talker, and he tells all of the various things to the wives. Robin has let it be known that Cody complains about the wives' weight and their stretch marks. Christine has let it be known that she's heard him complain about Mary before. Mary has heard some things about Christine. Janelle has heard things about Christine and Mary. So this is what he does. So knowing all of the things that you know, and that the overlap, and you know that this lady isn't getting any loving, allow her to do what works best for her. Mary, even though there's times where I like Mary and there's times where I don't, it is very evident that Mary has lived a life where a good portion of it, she just is unhappy. I look at Mary and I look at my mom, and my mom has been through some things in her life, and from what we know, Mary has too. And Mary looks so much more significantly older than my mother, and I believe that my mom is older than her. That's a problem for me. Some things aren't just about what you put in your body or your genetics. Some things also happen to you appearance wise because of stress. And Mary's face to me reads stress all over it. She just always seems unhappy. We're not seeing a little bit of light in her until now that she's spending her time more so in Utah. Mary says some of the things that Christine is complaining about in terms of me needing to be around more, she can do too. Just like I don't go to her house and visit her, she doesn't come to my house and visit me, which is true. A lot of times when you go to Mary's house, it's just Mary and the dog in the house. Unless Leon happens to be there, and Leon will come into the house too with their negative attitude. So it's just Mary and that dog. And I feel more and more that these women were not really friends. I refuse to believe it. I feel like they were associates. I felt like they have tried to present themselves like they are friends, but they are not friends. Back to the wedding stuff. They're back at this venue to taste food. In my opinion, it's far too many people involved in this taste testing, but the venue is going with it. I guess the venue already got part of their check, and they're like, you know what? TLC already gave us some of this deposit, so we're going to go ahead and allow them to have as many taste testers as they want. So it's Tony, Mackenzie, three of the moms with the exception of Robin, because we're told that Ariella is sick. I don't understand how Robin's kids get sick so much when she hovers over them the way that she does, but Ariella is sick. Tony's best man is there, his sister and his mom. McKelty and Tony are still demanding that they have 4,000 tacos, stating that they want to have at least 10 tacos for each guest. Tony is already wearing his wedding band. He says he's wearing this ring to show that he's committed because McKelty is, so he feels like, why not wear one myself too? I'm not surprised by this, nor do I care. Who are they? It was this couple that I used to watch on YouTube, EC and Josh, I think their name is. And I know he used to wear a ring on his finger after he proposed to her as well. But he didn't put it on his ring finger. He had it like on his middle finger or his index finger as a memory that as a reminder that he's going to be soon marrying her. Y'all, I promise I'm gonna get my tongue together. And after they got married, he took that off and put on her wedding band. So he's not the first person to do this. Of course, they were like, oh, cool, and all those other things. It's Tony, and Tony is Cody. First thing that arrives at the table is chips with salsa and guacamole. Cody has a whole discussion about if you get used to the pepper and the salsa or the guacamole, if you get used to the heat that comes from it. And I'm looking at like, okay, maybe this is my ignorance because I don't understand why we're having a discussion about if you get used to spice. I'm confused because I know a lot of Caucasian people who like spicy things too. So this constant talk about him being a Mexican and them being Caucasian is really irritating to me because yes, there are certain ethnicities that use more spice. I know my family, I grew up eating a lot of hot things. I love spicy things. I quickly toned down some of the ways that I cook certain things because not everybody likes spicy things. But why are we having a whole conversation about whether you get used to the spice or whether it wears off? It's spice. Different people can take it at different levels. Simple as that. And for real, you want to be careful because too much of anything isn't good for you. But over that, she brings out the tacos and we're told that this isn't even something that normally comes on the menu, that they're doing this specifically because of McKelty and Tony's request. They even had people come in and make the tortillas. That is a dedicated staff, and it just goes to show you that they're probably going to end up spending a lot of money on this food, which means TLC and the Browns better be ready to pay. While Tony and McKelty are set on having the tacos because they want to feed the entire state and all of the cousins and everybody else, the parents want no parts of it. The staff say that they plan on allocating 3 tacos for each guest, which sounds like more than enough for me. This isn't an all you can eat buffet. This is let me feed you so you can be satisfied. Hopefully they have some rice and some other things that can go along with these tacos, and you will be okay. You got Cody in the background saying that he thinks that maybe Tony might be right about doing 4,000 tacos because he's the one that understands his culture. Is a taco a cultural thing? Okay, I'll say it is. But is portion control cultural? Because, okay, this is the lid to my Instapot, right? Well, not the lid. The thing that you put the lid on when you're moving the air fryer top, whatever. Anyways, this is the plate. It was a taco here, a taco there, and a taco there, and the sauce was in the middle. And you telling me that imagine y'all, you see a taco. My hands are the tacos and a taco. I hope y'all are getting what I'm saying. Imagine that the outer portion of this is covered with tacos and you got sauce here. Do you think that there needs to be 10 of those? I don't think so. It's right in front of you. Cody is sitting here asking and saying that Tony may be right about the 10 tacos because it's his culture. But Tony was talking about street tacos, which are smaller, versus these tacos that we normally traditionally see that are larger in size, and you have the display right in front of you. You're sitting here eating it right now, and Tony is greedy, so he wants the other ones at the other end of the table. But you all that are sitting there eating it are being satisfied by the 2 tacos that are on your plate. And she's saying we're going to allocate 3. So why would he make that statement about he understands his culture when you see the portion on the plate? This is just some of the stuff that was irritating me. I may be going on a tangent, y'all. Correct me down below if I'm wrong, but I'm just like, okay. Because to me, her saying it will be buffet style is where the problem arises. Now, I haven't gotten to it yet to see whether or not Tony was right. But to me, if you're going to do something buffet style, then it is very important, based on the many buffets that I've been to, or the many buffet styles that I may have helped serve at, that you have a universal scooper, whatever it is, and that you do the same exact scoop, portion, whatever it is that you're doing on every single one of those tacos. No, you cannot get extra meat until we make sure that everybody is fed first, and then maybe you can come back and do more. But if you don't have somebody there to monitor a buffet situation and they're able to self-serve, then that's where you're going to have a problem, and 3 tacos may not be able to be allocated per person. We're told that in the Mexican culture, even if you're not invited, you show up, because let Tony tell it, everything that happens at this wedding that Cody and the Browns don't understand is due to his Mexican culture. Are there things that I do believe are cultural? Yes, I do. But I feel like Tony kind of conveniently uses things for certain things at times. Because even though you are Mexican, there are 2 families and 2 different representations that need to be shown at this wedding. Janelle speaks up. She says, here's the thing. If they're not full from the food that they get, they can always go somewhere else to eat, like a burger place, or, you know, wherever you want to eat. You can always go somewhere else to eat on the way home. In the back of Janelle's mind, I feel like she is definitely thinking about the calculations, because TLC has probably already told them what they're willing to pay. It's then time to pick dessert, and Tony is not done with the list of things that he wants, because as I said before, if it's not the Cody show, it's going to be the Tony show. He insists on having what he calls, and I'm probably saying this wrong, a tres de leche, or did he say tres leche? It's for a wedding cake. It's a type of dessert there that they describe as creamy that they would want to serve, but it's not physically possible and it's not what Mykelti wants. Here are my thoughts on this. My family is Jamaican, right? So one of the things that a lot of us love is black cake. Like when I say we love black cake, we love black cake. I've learned through some of my American friends that black cake is not something that everybody's accustomed to. You either hate it or you like it. I don't feel like there's really an in between. Me personally, I love it. I didn't love it as much when I was younger, but the older that I got, the more I loved it. If I were to put black cake on the table at a wedding and you all were not familiar with black cake, you would think that you were going to have chocolate cake. But black cake is not chocolate cake. Black cake, the closest thing that I can describe it kind of is, we'll call it a rum cake, because some people do call it that. So you go to get that cake and you think you about to have some chocolate cake, like some German chocolate or something, and you bite into it and it's a completely different taste because it's a rum cake. You have to think about your people. I'm not saying don't have a traditional dish. You're already doing the tacos. Now you want to do the dessert. Be reasonable about your dessert. Maybe pick another dessert from your culture that they can do here at this venue. That's what would make sense to me, at least. Janelle says, this is where I'm going to stand up for her. Because I don't know why, but I just feel like Tony is running over Mykelti here. And it's because he is. Tony says he has a simple solution to the problem. They could just have 2 cakes. So easy to say when you're not the one footing the bill, because Tony doesn't have a problem spending other people's money. It's night and day, really, when you think about watching this wedding and you think about what we saw with Madison's wedding, because I remember when it came to the cake, Caleb was fine with it just being 1 cake. Madison was the one who suggested that they do a groom's cake for him. And she basically said, I've made so many of the decisions, hon. I'll let you go ahead and pick what you want for your groom's cake. So my thing is, there was a compromise there. I don't really see a lot of compromising with this situation when it comes to Tony. I just see Mykelti compromising over and over and over and over again. And it just is showing me more of Tony that I do not like. Tony, and I said it before in more recent seasons, and now I see it even more. Tony is Cody. The way that he acts is Cody. And I personally, if I were Cody's child, I would want the complete and polar opposite of him, because Tony is draining. Mykelti and Tony decide on having a cake buffet instead of a traditional wedding cake. So they're going to have a bunch of smaller, different cakes on this table. We see them talk to the lady. The family goes and they taste a whole bunch of cakes. They love everything. They're going to have a king and queen like chess piece, because Tony loves to play chess that they cut into. Notice I keep saying Tony loves this. Tony wants Mykelti to wear a certain dress, so he has to see it. Tony wants Mykelti's hair to be down instead of up, so that's what he's going to get. Tony wanted to have maroon and silver, I think, for his wedding color, so she made sure that she put that in there. Tony, 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 Tony. Over and over and over again. I get that it's about both people, but nothing about this wedding is cohesive to me, and it's driving me nuts. Because even the food selection, it was like, okay, we are all over the place with what is being described that's going to be here. We're going to have a hot cocoa bar and we're going to be eating tacos. I don't know. You can have cocoa whenever you want to. I've had cocoa at work in the middle of the day because I'm not a coffee drinker. But it's just like, what are we doing here? I don't know. Tony announces that he will also be shoving the cake into Mykelti's face, even though Mykelti doesn't want him to. Mykelti says, I tried to talk him out of it, but it's okay. I've accepted it. Are you freaking crazy? If I tell you no to shoving cake in my face, the answer is no. And I'm going to tell you like this. If you shove cake into my face, future husband, is this thing on? Future husband, because I know you're out there and I know you're watching me. If you decide to shove cake in my face on my wedding day, please understand that that paper will be ripped up and will not be mailed off. We will not be married. The license will be null and void. I'll rip that bad boy off all the way up. I feel like that's so insensitive. She said, no, don't do it. Hopefully he's not going to do it. As I said, I haven't watched. If he does, I'm going to get mad. As they're trying the different cakes, Cody just loves the mocha cake. He says, we need 2 of the mocha cakes. It's so good. That's what he did. No, for real. That's what he did. Sorry, I was getting looked at like I was crazy. Cody is over there getting more action from the cake than he is with Mary. Let me rephrase that. The cake is getting more action than Mary because for him to because Mary was, all the wives that were there looking at him in the confessional. Why is he making those sounds? Okay, in the confessional, Mykelti says she's marrying a guy that is just like her father. I already told y'all, if I knew that he was going to be just like my father and my father was like Cody, I wouldn't want to marry him. I'm starting to think that Cody is better than Tony and Tony is worse than Cody. She says, all of the favorite traits about my dad, I want in my husband. I want to know what those favorite traits really are other than hair, because something is wrong with her. Well, Cody's hair. Anyway. So it's time for us to be back in Vegas, and we see the wives are back preparing for Mykelti's bridal shower. They tell us that they've decided to do a lip sync and dance for Mykelti and her friends to the tune of I Will Survive. We see them put on these costumes that Christine got that are like 1970s inspired costumes. So they're a little, tight on them and they're flashy. Some people don't like these performances, but I actually do, because I feel like when they do these, that this is the one time we see them letting their hair down and they're not thinking about their next step. They start practice and it's just as embarrassing as you would expect. Janelle is feeling self-conscious about participating, but she says that she's going to do it because she does have some regrets about not participating in some of the other performances that they've done for their various kids' graduations and things of that nature. As they're dancing, Isabel and Aspen are on the couch full of laughter, and it's just a good time. It's the end of that scene. I'm guessing it's a few days or weeks later. Maddie and Caleb have decided to come home for a visit with Cody and Janelle. He's concerned about why they're coming there. They enter and Cody immediately hugs Caleb. They reveal that they have some bad and some good news, and they hand each parent a small box. I feel like you would have to be kind of oblivious in watching this to not understand what's going on, but they didn't think about it when they first got the box. So Cody opens up his box and he pulls out a pacifier, and it takes him a minute to understand what Maddie and Caleb are trying to tell him, but then he realizes that Maddie is pregnant. Janelle is overcome with emotion and tears, and they hug and they embrace and they're really excited, and they say, well, the bad news is that we're going to be having another spring baby because this baby is due in spring. They say some things, there's an exchange of some words, and Cody basically lets us know that he's too young to be a grandpa, pop, whatever he calls himself, and he just had a baby himself, and that this is awesome. He then reveals that because they're having a baby, then he's probably going to have another one too. I'm just like, who thinks to say that? He's such a jerk. I don't understand why you would even say that. Oh, because y'all having a baby, let me have another one too. When you just told us in a previous episode that you're done. And Robin said, you know, if what did she say? Something along the lines of, unless they get a spiritual witness, awakening, whatever. Okay. They're like, you guys got to keep this a secret. We're really excited about it, but we want to wait to tell the rest of the family because we don't want to steal Mykelti's wedding thunder, because unlike Mykelti and her husband, well, now husband, Tony, they actually are not selfish people, and they want her to enjoy being in the spotlight. So it's just about her. So they're going to wait till it's closer to the wedding to make the announcement that she's pregnant. And they're mainly doing so even then because she's going to start really showing. And that was the end of this episode. For those of you who can't watch it, sorry. I tried to get, you know, as many details in as I could. It is on Philo. I do not know if it's on Discovery Plus because I don't have Discovery Plus. I know that even when I was first looking for it to try to see, because, you know, sometimes people on YouTube will upload the videos. You can't even really find it on YouTube. So it's something about that copyright that has changed things. I even went to TV Guide just to make sure that I had the right title, because even the titles jump. But that's it for this review. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I am on the road to 2,000. Yes, it seems far, but when I was on the road to 1,000, that seemed far. Thank you all so much for those of you who have subscribed. If you've been here more than once, go ahead and do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. It helps me, it helps the channel, it helps the fam. I am currently reading 50 Years in Polygamy by Kristen Decker, who, according to the book, we now know that was not her original name, that her birth name was Sophia. I'm interested in hearing about how she got to changing that, but I'm currently reading that. There's some other books on the channel. I've also started to review Bridgerton, which by this point, when this is uploaded, I should have 2 reviews out. The first one is out now, and the second one will be out on Tuesday. And I'm going to just continue till I can catch up. My plan is to do at least one a week, but based on how much I enjoy it, I may be able to do 2. And that's it for now. Yeah, that's it for now. Until next time.